folks. Tonight we went to see Aquaman.
I have nothing.
Nothing? I was just waiting for a comment. So, overall, I mean, clearly this is a movie about a man who
Talks to fishes,
lives on the land, but comes from the sea, right?
Like the chicken of the sea.
Chicken of the sea, that's
If you're
right.
watching this review and you don't know who Aquaman is, just stop and go watch like Bridget Jones or something.
Yeah. But be prepared. So, movie begins with the childhood of Aquaman. He, of course, grows up to try to become king of Atlantis. But he has to go on an adventure first, and so that is exactly what he does. Without giving too much away, why don't we just kind of discuss what we liked and didn't like about the movie? What do you think?
They tried too hard. They tried to make it like a Thor Ragnarok mixed with Superman, and it just didn't work.
Matt?
Yeah, I think for solid entertainment value,
yes,
was entertained. Had a little bit of issue with some characterization along the way. I feel like there were some cheesy moments here and there. Some acting that I felt like sometimes I was confused about characters and maybe what they were thinking and why they were doing the things they were doing. Just didn't feel totally put together or complete. A little choppy, but like I said, for an entertainment value, worth my money.
Chris, what do you think?
I thought it was a really good movie. I mean, I think a lot of that may have been, in editing. Whoever edited it could have, it may have been better before editing. A lot of movies are, I think, but I thought it was a good movie. I thought it told a good story within 2.5 hours. The DC people are trying to start a Marvel universe of
Marvel-esque.
sorts. A Marvel-esque universe, and they're just getting started.
I did find it funny that there were two Marvel previews before the movie.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. But I mean, if you go back and watch the early Marvel movies, they're just as bad. I mean, I say that's just as bad.
That's blasphemy.
But they're, like you say, they're trying too hard or whatnot. Some of that stuff, I mean, the first Iron Man was really good. The second one was, and you watch some of the others. The first Thor was, good. The second one, I mean, the third one was a lot better. I mean, I agree, but to me, it's not any worse or any better than the Marvel movies. So, and everybody loves Marvel movies. So I'm thinking, I really enjoyed it. I think they did a good job for what they could do.
Yeah.
He is absolutely perfect.
Yes.
And what was, y'all remember what her name was?
Mara.
Amber Heard.
Okay, she did a great job at what she did. The guy that played Mantis, amazing.
I thought he was waste.
Really? I thought
they could have done so much
more.
more.
They could have.
Black Manta.
Black Manta.
He had what, a 5-minute, 10-minute fight scene, and then it was like.
Well, I feel like that could have been one of the things that you mentioned about editing. That was one thing that felt really empty to me. I wanted he was
a little bit more,
a little bit more for his story that would have helped.
But they kind of started out. I mean, I honestly don't know what his origin is from the comics, and so this, he was kind of a pirate and ran into him and.
He's so angry. I just want to know why he's so angry.
Well, you saw
You saw why.
why.
I saw why, but that he was already angry. He was already. There was something about his character that
I see what you mean.
he just had. I just wanted to know a little bit more, and I'd say also too. I think we've got a little bit of at least for me. I can speak for me. I think I went in with a natural hesitation with it being a DC film of. I was already questioning things. I was already like, is it what? I was less. I mean, I can again speak for me, but I can go into a Marvel film now and just be like, yep, and just watch. And I feel like I'm still just a little bit hesitant about the DC universe, the film universe.
You're trying to use the Marvel ruler, the Marvel.
Well, sure. I mean, which I think is fair because that's what's out there.
And it is too.
DC is still I feel like building their game up.
But they're still getting started, and they've had some misses, and I think
they've had some big misses, but
hopefully they're going to stop.
Well,
having misses.
So if I had to say this, I think this is one of the best DC movies I've seen in a while.
For sure, because there's only been 4.
We can't.
But out of those four,
Out of
Yeah,
those
but you
four.
can't compare it to like some of the old stuff that we love. A lot of the Batmans, a lot of the different things.
Wonder Woman, Aquaman,
And Wonder Woman is still
Batman versus Superman.
currently the best one that they've had in the last
Justice
several years. Justice League missed. Batman versus Superman missed. This movie I thought did well, but it got cheesy.
Oh.
Sometimes a little
Suicide
too
Squad.
much. Suicide
yeah,
Squad.
was
yeah.
Man of Steel
Man
under
of Steel
DC?
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel
Was
was,
that under
better.
DC? I mean, I know it's Superman, but couldn't tell. Couldn't remember.
Man of Steel did okay. But problem with so many of those is they were just rehashing old stories sometimes too. And at least this was a new story from them.
Yeah.
That was kind of nice. It's not a redo of a Batman. It's not a redo of a Superman. It's something that we haven't ever seen. So I was personally happy with that, but I felt it got very cheesy at times. Then they would bring it back in, and it kind of go that direction again. The jokes were good.
No, but I think they're trying to build his
But-
character as he's a layman.
Yeah.
Which
His
I
dad
think-
was a lighthouse keeper. He's basically he's just an
Your
everyday
average Joe.
person.
Yeah.
And so what does they drank?
Which I think they did. They did a good
He
job.
he did a great job. He was personable. You enjoyed the character. You didn't feel like he was out of place. Overall, I enjoyed that movie.
I did.
Yeah.
I would
Absolutely.
see it again. I really want to see it in 3D next time.
Then
I
you'd
think
be
it would be
seeing Avatar.
Greg
What?
has a hatred apparently for 3D. He does not want to go see them.
When
That
this
would
movie
be a good
airs,
one
there's
because of
Avatar.
all the stuff that was going on in it. You could finally get a little depth perception of the sea.
I definitely think that the 3D would be cool. I think it would almost be, nauseating. Just the amount of movement and
The water
I don't
movement.
think
yeah,
so.
yeah.
It can't be any worse than some of the other stuff we've
By the way,
seen.
where did that scene? You remember when they're diving down and all those creatures are coming for them?
Yeah,
There
in
was
the trench.
another movie.
Trench.
Yeah, where y'all remember what other movie there
Pirates of
was
the
something
Caribbean.
similar? Was it okay? I kept looking at that, going, that seems like a scene that has been
For
done
the
already.
world-
It was
world-
an amazing scene, but
that was it at World's End.
was that what it was?
Yeah.
I just kept sitting there going, I've seen this before. Where did it come from? So they stole it from that then. I don't know.
Did you see
Probably
that?
not, but I'm just saying
Zack
it was
Snyder
it was
the-
great.
One of the executive
Was he
producers.
really?
Zack Snyder had a hand in it.
Okay.
Stay most way through just stay until you see something in the credits.
Yeah, stay after the first credits, the primary
it's
credits.
about halfway through.
So are we gonna see another one? Are they gonna keep this series going?
See,
while
that's what I was
getting
talking
rid
to
of the
Chris,
other ones?
because if they're rebooting everything, how can you reboot it when you just did an origin of Aquaman and he did well?
Keep him in it in the next series, and he'd be one of
Well,
the
they
few
even
characters
referenced Justice League in this one.
Yeah, they said,
We're
talked
gonna
about
find-
Steppenwolf. So
And in that ending scene in the credits, there really is a little bit of a lead.
Here's the next step.
Yeah.
and I mean, it's good. Like, again, they're trying to build a world, and they have to do it within 2 hours. Yeah, it's not, it's not perfect, but overall, it's pretty good.
How well do we think Aquaman's gonna do? Because he's coming up against Bumblebee and
The theater was full.
Mary Poppins
Yeah, the theater was full, and we haven't seen a theater that full on
since
Thursday.
the Marvel movie.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it'll do really good. Probably won't do as good as Wonder Woman, or better than
I
Suicide
think
Squad.
Bumblebee will beat it in the long run.
You mean? Oh, okay.
Give it a week, and I think Bumblebee will.
It'll probably beat it, but
People
this
is
I think this will be
stupid
close.
as it can be. Trust Rotten Tomatoes, and Rotten Tomatoes favors Bumblebee.
I don't ever listen to Rotten Tomatoes anyway, unless you want to
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
thumbs up.
Well,
I enjoyed it.
It was good. Go see it.
It's worth going to see.
take a shot at tequila. or two
Next one's
beforehand,
Bumblebee,
but-
and I think we're gonna like that.
Whiskey.
Watch it in 3D.
Watch it in 3D. I wish we had. Good night, guys. See y'all next time.